Now, it has emerged the two assassins who shot and killed a member of Anas Aremia Anas's investigative team on Wednesday lurked in his neighborhood for 6 hours before committing the heinous crime. Joining us is Maxwell Agbagba, who has been to the neighborhood at Medina here in Accra, was shown a bench where the assailants sat as they waited for Ahmed and a nearby pub from where they got a drink. Ahmed Hussein Swale, who was driving home after he had been called that his child wasn't well, was shot 3 times, forcing him to crash his vehicle into a salon.
Family members and friends of Ahmed Hussein Swale are gathered for afternoon prayers in his family house close to where he was killed. Conspicuously missing, though, is Ahmed. Well, about 15 personnel of the Criminal Investigations Department have visited the crime scene, and what they are doing is that they're picking very crucial information and evidence connected to this case. They've been speaking to first respondents and then eyewitnesses. But behind me is where the deceased used to sit with some of his friends to discuss various issues ranging from politics to social issues. Yesterday, it was the same thing. Sometime around 9 p.m. when he was with his friends here. The assassins, we are told, were lurking around in the neighborhood. Just when the deceased was heading out of this place, they accosted him and then shot him through his car. For some of Ahmed's relatives, only one prime suspect comes to mind. His cousin Abdul Jalil Yakubu cites a video of Asin Central MP Kennedy Japan posted early Thursday morning on social media by Anas Aremia Anas to support his claim that his life was threatened.
Then we have to just follow up this because it has a history. Remember the number 12 incident when one legislature came out and threatened that this guy, all those things, because he's doing his work, they have to kill him. We saw that the state didn't do anything about it because we didn't hear any invitation by that person because some people feel they are all the same. So we just relax, just to hear that our brother is dead. What we demand from the government is justice. We know, we are not going to say we don't know anybody who is around it. We know the Honorable Kennedy Japan, who issued threat on our brother, is behind this thing. If they don't, we are giving them less than 1 week to tell us whatever is happening. I don't know how we also react.
The video was originally shot in the studios of Netu Television, owned by Kennedy Japan, in the wake of the number 12 documentary which exposed corruption in Ghana football. Ahmed, according to Anas Aremia Anas, played a key role in that expose. Another relative of the deceased, Al-Hassan Yunus, tells Joy News Ahmed met his untimely death moments after he left to ostensibly go take care of his sick child.
After work, we all gather at this place. That's where we just sit. Sometimes we can sit there till 2 o'clock a.m. before we all disperse. That is when it's Friday, that's weekends. We can sit up to 2 a.m. before we disperse. And yesterday, what happened is that we were here, and when he received a call that one of his children is not feeling well, so he reported that he was going to take the boy to the hospital. So he took his car. As he was approaching the junction, we heard a gunshot. So we were saying, why are they still doing knockouts when the Christmas is over? And before we could realize, a gentleman ran towards us and said, they have killed your brother. We rushed to the scene and we found him in the car. I think because they shot him, he was forced to cross the road and hit the other store.
Some eyewitnesses we've been speaking to here say that the two assassins actually bought a drink from this pub. They had opportunity to sip their drinks here before they committed the dastardly act. We are told that they sat here for close to 7 hours waiting for the deceased to show up.
I was standing there watching the driver and the motor guys, 2 guys. So one of them was standing at the signboard on the left, where the driver was about to blanch. And I saw the man point a gun on the driver on the left side. So he shot the gun, and the driver stepped the this thing, what do you call it? The accelerator. So he was about to blanch when the gun hit the person. So he goes straight. And in the middle of the road, he went back there and shot the gun the second time. So the guy goes straight to the gutter, straight to the store. And the guy went back there and shot him the third time. So that time, when after that, a guy wanted to approach them, when they pointed the gun at them, wanted to shoot them if anybody come close to them.
So the deceased was actually in his car waiting to negotiate this curve, here. But we were told that the assassins got closer to him and shot him through the car window. His leg was still on the accelerator, so the car crossed this road and then hit this salon just some meters away from this place.
Well, Asin Central MP Kennedy Agyapong has dismissed claims he had a hand in the murder of Ahmed Hussein Swale, an associate of Anas Eremia Anas's private investigations firm Tiger IPI. Mr. Agyapong was responding to calls by a lawyer of Anas Eremia Anas for him to be questioned by the police, said the investigative journalist and his lawyer should rather be the ones to be picked up. Let's first hear what Kisi Agyapong said on Joy FM Super Morning Show Thursday morning.
As I said, I'm a lawyer, I deal with evidence. I'm not saying that the certain number of parliament ask people to go kill him. That is not what I'm saying. Be it far from me that I will ever suggest that. But I'm saying that reckless conduct of sitting on your media, putting out a young man's picture there, inviting the world to go beat him up, and that you'll be responsible and pay for it, he should be asked questions. The finger that can be pointed at him is that he should be called to explain why he did what he did. And if a few months later the young man has been killed in such some circumstances, he has questions to answer. It is not an accusation, but he is the one who invited the world to beat him up. He has been killed now.
So when
someone should ask him questions.
So when you say someone should ask him questions, you'd like...
The authorities, of course.
Okay.
The authorities to ask him questions. A man claims no one is above the law. He cannot also be above the law. No one is above the law. He should be asked questions.
Since you want someone to ask him questions, would you be lodging an official complaint with the authorities?
We'll advise ourselves on that.
Okay, so that decision has not been made yet?
It's not everything that I put out in public, but we'll advise ourselves on that.
Now, what about your client's organization? Clearly, the security implications and the arrangements for your organizations must change.
He's aware of all that. He's aware of the risk. And indeed, you pointed out earlier that that's the reason why he wears a mask to begin with. And so he doesn't expose himself and his operatives unnecessarily to public curiosity and public scrutiny. Otherwise, they'll be putting their lives in danger. And so the investigative team is very much aware of all that, and they're taking steps to ensure their further security. So.
The Asin Central MP described as a distraction the decision by Anas to put out a video of him suggesting he had something to do with the murder even before the police would start the investigations. Mr. Agyapong spoke with Bernice Abubaidu Lansa.
It's unfortunate Ghanaians are behaving the way they are behaving. When you do that, you distract the police or the security agencies from even doing the investigation. How can you tell me that a statement that I made about 8 months ago, that if the guy, they told me that, oh, you've even paid the school fees in 2012. Well, I don't know him. Also, he has been coming here, and I said, no way. Don't allow the guy to come here because he's bad. If he comes to this premises, you beat him. That you allow him. I have a video that is so nasty that I can't show it. I mean, women, their private part, he set a doctor up and did all these things. So if you allow the guy to come to my premises and set me up, so I said, no way, don't allow the guy to go. When he steps here, beat the hell out of him.
But in that particular video, we also hear you say, Mushian will be to wit. If you meet him anywhere...
Madam, you see, I want to cool down. Okay. Have you listened to the tape?
Yeah, you said Mushian will be Obama premises.
Good. Good. This is about my premises. I mean,
so then baby refers to anywhere within your premises.
Yeah, my premises, baby. Yeah, beat the hell out of him.
Okay, so what about those who say putting his face and his name and where he lives could be vital information for those who may want to hurt him? And so, in other words, you are complicit.
You see, the way you are talking as if say he's better than judges who have stroke now. He's better than those who have died. I wanted Ghanaians to know who is behind Anas and doing those criminal activities. And it was necessary to bring his name, to show his face, for people to see. Because when the guy is walking, you wouldn't even know that this is the guy coming to set you up. You might run your mouth, he will record you, go and disgrace you. It was necessary for me to bring the guy's picture out for people to see who he is. Okay? But you see, the problem I have is that now, if Anas is saying, or his lawyer is saying I should be picked, they should pick Anas and his lawyer first.
Why?
Why? Because why is it that Anas jumps into conclusion within 3 minutes I hear of the guy's death, he makes a video and put it out there and put my voice and picture that I am involved. He's diverting attention. My investigation, the guy is going to the police right now. Which guy? I have a guy, you hear his name. The guy said, I don't know if now he has sent the date. I wanted the date. This guy who is dead sent a message to the guy going to the police that he's falling out with Anas and his group because they suspect him to have said something or done something. But this gentleman going to the police said he didn't trust the Ahmed. He thought he was going to set him up, so he didn't respond for them to know where he is. Lord and behold, my sister, this morning, I was on my way to the bank, and somebody called me that the guy said one Hamizu has threatened to put bullet in his head, like the way Ahmed died. And this guy is Anas's head boy. And he said when this guy was talking to him, Anas's driver was there. So this evidence piece, I'm piecing them together. There's a clear indication that Anas should be picked. They should ask him questions.
But are you willing to avail yourself?
No problem at all. But before you do that, pick Anas. If you don't pick Anas because he's go and put it in social media and you come and I won't talk to you.
In hindsight, do you wish that you hadn't made those statements?
No, not at all. I still maintain that. And the evil that men do lives after them.
Well, the police meanwhile say they have already questioned the Asin Central MP Kennedy Agyapong in connection with the murder of Hussein Suale. Director General of Police Public Relations ACP David Eklu is, however, urging the public to volunteer information on the assailants.
Yes, before the statement came a short ago, very important steps have been taken. Detectives from the CID headquarters have visited the scene. They have spoken to a lot of people and gathering further information that will help us get these perpetrators to face the full rigors of the law. I think there have been an issue about the tape that is attributed to Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. We have spoken to him, and then we have also requested the original tape from Net 2, where the recording was done, to assist us in investigation. That is what we are doing now, and we are working pretty fast. We are in touch with the family to make sure that we get these criminals to face the full rigors of the law. As I said, he has been interviewed, and we've requested for the original recording to help us in our investigation.
And then this must be very swift because he was on our premises a short while ago, Kennedy Agyapong. He appeared in person, or this is a phone conversation?
It was a one-to-one interview. Our officers went to meet him. I think after he was in your premises, we are aware, and after that he was contacted and interviewed person to person. Okay. The body is at the police hospital. Post-mortem will be conducted, and all those details will add up to what we are going to see, what would help us build the docket. For now, we are listening to eyewitnesses, and I hope we have put out some information, and they will help us in at least. What we know is that those who committed this crime have been around our environment for a while, And as we have already indicated, we've been putting out every week crime prevention tips. I believe that if somebody had alerted the police, perhaps would have saved our colleague. So we are emphasizing that people should pay attention to the weekly crime prevention tips that we put out, so that some of these issues that raise suspicion within the community can quickly be brought to the attention of the police so that we can act on it.
And another...
President Akufo-Addo has expressed his condolence to Hussein Swale's family. In a message posted on Twitter, the president condemned the murder and urged the police to find the perpetrators. It reads, "I've learned with sadness of the killing of Ahmed Hussein Swale, an associate of investigative journalist Anas Aremeyaw Anas. I condemn the act unreservedly and extend my condolences to his family. I expect the police to bring to book as soon as possible the perpetrators of this heinous crime. Once again, my heartfelt condolences." Well, former President John Mahama also wants swift government intervention to apprehend the perpetrators. He expressed worry over the rampant spate of killings and cited the GPHA manager's case as reference point. He was speaking to NDC delegates in Koforidua to convert votes ahead of the NDC's primaries to elect a flag bearer.
Woke up to hear very sad news that a journalist, a well-known journalist who works with Anas Aremeyaw Anas, he closed from work, he was driving home in his car, a group of people on a motorcycle crossed him, stopped and shot him to death in his car. And I'm saying that for a democracy like Ghana, that has gained a worldwide reputation as the model of democracy in Africa, things like this should not happen. Journalists should not be killed in cold blood because of the work they do. But recently there's been a spate of killings, and we urge the government and the investigative agencies to be up and doing and bring these perpetrators of these dastardly actions to justice. There's a lady who works with Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority who was recently killed in her bedroom at night. And so we urge our police service, we know they are very capable people, and so we urge our police service, our CID and our BNI to be up and doing and bring those who have committed these crimes to justice. There are other deaths. A deputy managing director of Ghana Water Company was killed. Other deaths have occurred recently. It creates a state of insecurity and fear in our country, and I think that government should pay attention to that.
Addressing a news conference Thursday afternoon, Information Minister Kojo Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah also urged the security agencies to take swift action to bring the perpetrators to book.
Government's attention has been drawn to the gruesome killing of Ahmed Hussein, an undercover journalist who worked for the Tiger Eye PI organization headed by ace investigative journalist Anas Aremeyaw Anas. The sad incident, we're told, happened on Wednesday, January 16th at Medina, suburb of Accra. Ahmed Hussein is alleged to have been gunned down by unknown assailants while he drove home. Government condemns this heinous and barbaric act. We are aware that the police have begun investigations into the incident. We, however, urge the security agency to quicken their investigations and bring the perpetrators to book. Violence against journalists and media practitioners must not be tolerated, and any effort to bring the perpetrators to book should not be spared. Government also wishes to express our deep, heartfelt condolences to the family of the victim, the organization he worked for, and the media fraternity in general. The second brief is that there are suspicions of who could be behind this alleged murder of the gentleman of the Tiger IPI crew. I think that all persons who have information on who they believe is behind it and the reasons and the circumstances should make that information available to the security agencies that have already commenced an investigation there, so that they can get the facts and begin to quickly act with it. I'm not sure we are helped in any way by going around the speculation or hating it or denying. That really doesn't do anything. Let's get the information to the security agencies so that they can do a quick job as quickly as possible.
The Ghana Journalists Association wants President Akufo-Addo to take a personal interest in ensuring persons involved in the murder of Ahmed Hussein Suale are arrested and swiftly prosecuted. The president of the association, Afil Moni, who described the murder of Ahmed as a sad day for the media fraternity, believes journalism is under attack in the country. Speaking at a news conference Thursday, he charged the police service to launch a full-scale investigation into the killing of Ahmed.
These killings, in addition to rampant assaults against journalists in recent times, sent a worrying signal that the media are under serious attack in an area when civility and rule of law are expected to reign the thoughts and actions of our society. In the light of the foregoing, and in order to restore a sense of hope and security in the media fraternity, as well as clear the soiled image of Ghana that the murder of Ahmed will certainly cause, the GJA calls on the Ghana Police Service to, as a matter of priority and urgency, launch a full-scale investigation into the killing of Ahmed. The killers must be made to face the full rigors of the law. We also appeal to His Excellency the President, Nadu Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as the head of the executive arm of government, to take personal interests in seeing to the bottom of this matter. Furthermore, we call on Parliament as representatives of the people to take the necessary actions that would instill a sense of safety, not only in the media, but also among the general populace of Ghana. We also urge the judiciary to deal mercilessly with anyone found guilty of such heinous crimes.
Ms. Afil Moni also urged the media not to be intimidated by the killing of Ahmed, but remain resolute in the discharge of their duties. You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break to bring you business news. In business news, although a pedestrian mall here in Accra temporarily shut down after fire ravaged several stalls there. But what's next for traders who have not insured their businesses? Sandra Hathanu will be here with those details. Stay tuned, we'll be back in a bit. After 17 years of a bloody conflict, a new Yana for the people of Dagban could be selected before this weekend. This follows the performance of the funeral of Yana Yakubu Andani nearly 20 years after his killing in Yendi on Thursday. Joining us, Justice Bedu has spent the day covering the funeral for us.
A grand entrance of chiefs and their traditional warriors heralding what is a historic moment in Dagban. It's been 17 years of wait for the funeral of a king whose gruesome killing shook the foundations of this land. In the period between 2002 and now, hundreds of lives lost in bloody conflict over who would succeed Yana Yakubu Andani II.
We thank God and we are very grateful.
Bushira Abdul Majid, like many of the young people here today, were very young when the Yana died and can't wait for the wave of opportunities that peace here would bring to them.
We know after all this is over, Dagban will be Dagban again. With the youth, development will go on and everything will move on smoothly. So we are very happy and we pray it continues. After all this funeral rites, a new Yana will be installed.
Well, Justice, it's a live for us in Yendi, where the funeral activities have just ended. So, Justice, now that what next? Now that the funeral is over?
So, Israel, the many people who came to the Nagbewa Palace for this very historic funeral have all made their way out of the Bewana Palace. What happens next is the traditional rite that will be performed, in fact, started this afternoon, but will continue through the night, and then tomorrow, which will lead up to the announcement of the next Yana. This is what has set the town of Yendi into a situation of habit. Many people are looking up to the announcement of who would be the next Yana, and what they believe should be a mark of the peace process that they've all been looking forward to. Let me bring in at this moment the spokesperson for the funeral planning committee, who have put together this very incredible event today that has put up the show of a very rich Dagbon culture and tradition. So tell me, what are we to expect now that the funeral has ended today, going into tomorrow?
Tomorrow, that will be the final day, and that will be the Adua, recitation of Quran, and then praying for the late Yana and then Yakubu, and then all Yanas who have passed away. That will be what will be done tomorrow. And any moment from now, like you rightly said, up to tomorrow, at least the Kugana, that is the custodian, the head of customs of Dagbon, will definitely send a signal to the one who will be enskined as the next Yana. And hopefully by Saturday, Dagbon should be having a new Yana by the grace of God.
Certainly that is what everybody here is looking forward to. Israel, the process leading up today has been very long. Like I did say in the story, it's been 17 years at least coming from the death of Yana, Yakubu, and Dani. And many people have been looking forward to a day where there will be peace, not just in Yendi, but in the entire of Dagbon. Many of the people who have borne the brunt of the conflict that has affected this town and its people very much are the women and children. Let me bring in at this moment one of them who has spent the whole day here, and they've been dancing and looking forward to what should be peace in the Yendi, finally, madam.
We are very happy today. We make the funeral of Yana and then Yakubu II. We're very happy today. They are making everything peaceful. We didn't see any disturbance in Dagbon. So now we are looking for new Yana. By the grace of God, tomorrow or tomorrow next, if God bless, we see the Yana of our Dagbon king. So we thank God because we know, we see everything as, I don't know what I'm going to talk. We see everything peaceful, and we didn't see anything bad about Yana funeral.
So what are you looking forward to for people like you who are living your life in Yendi? How do you see life in Yendi now going forward?
Since tomorrow, yesterday before, today, 3 days today, we see peaceful, anything, nothing, everything, doing coolly, peaceful, fine. So we now looking for Yana for tomorrow next. If God permits, we will get new Yana, and then we'll be very happy because we see the funeral happy, and then we see that something we didn't see before. Yana Palace.
So something she hasn't seen before, and certainly something that many, especially the young people in Yendi, haven't seen. The last time there was a funeral of this nature in this land was in the mid-1970s. And so for many of the people here who are under the age of 40, this is the first time they are seeing something like this. And it was thousands, Israel, of people who came into the inner perimeters of the Bewana Palace to join the Dagbon, who did a spiritual circumnavigation of Palace, the funeral which they've been waiting for about 17 years has finally ended. What we are looking forward to tomorrow is the Muslim prayers, which would draw this funeral to a close. And then before the close of tomorrow, we are told Dagbon would have a new IANA. Israel.
Thank you very much, Justice Baidu. And finally, peace beckons in Dagbon. Justice Baidu there reporting from Yendi. Now, former second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, says the situation of Men's Gold would have been different if he was still in office. The Bank of Ghana, the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Minerals Commission have been faulted for reneging on their duties to avert the Men's Gold crisis. Speaking on Upfront a while ago, Dr. Esiama explained he began processes to restructure the gold dealership firm and would have made progress if he was allowed to continue. He is however unhappy about what he describes as the blame game being played by the current governor and his deputy.
If we had stayed in office, well, from what we are hearing, it appears as though 2018 saw a lot of escalation in the operations. And so if I had continued that effort, and that's what I'm saying, number one, either they would have been restructured. In that case, they would have become a regulated institution, so would have known everything about them.
Okay. Or
that, together with the other regulatory agencies, and I told you meetings had started. Okay. Then we would have, shut them down if we had to. So I doubt if that exercise had continued, whether we would have had what occurred during 2018.
I've heard the Deputy Governor Elsie Awaji say this. I've also heard the governor say the same thing, that if action was taken by previous officers, we wouldn't have been where we are today.
Again, as I said, the governor, is my former boss. Yeah. These are people I hold in high regard. But somehow, I'm not quite happy about some of his pronouncements. You see, when all that you do at every opportunity is to try and poo-poo the past, managers. The fact is, Bank of Ghana is a continuous institution. It's not like you have an MPP Bank of Ghana and then you have an NDC Bank of Ghana. No. So when you come in as a new administration, there will definitely be certain things that you inherited that are good. Is that okay? Yeah. Then there would also have been certain things that probably were lapses. So you take the two together. But where you have the good ones, you are using them, but then at every opportunity it's about the previous this, the previous that. I think we should move away from that. We should rather look at what was done. There was, a head of the legal departments, there was the head of the secretary's department. That lady is still there. You can ask her. Anything we did was based on advice from the legal people. And those legal people are the same people
who are there today.
You see, so I would want my former boss to please let us be governors, leave the politicians to do what they do. They would like to go after each other. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. If there are any questions, pick a phone and call. We will judge.
Have they been engaging you?
They've never engaged.
Meanwhile, stop politicizing the Men's Gold saga. That's the caution from Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah following a news conference by the two major political parties, the NPP and the NDC, Wednesday. Information Minister Mr. Nkrumah, speaking at a news conference Thursday, noted politicizing the issue will further aggravate the woes of the customers.
Final brief I have for you is that government expresses displeasure at the partisan politicization that appears to be characterizing discussions on the Men's Gold saga, and wishes to reiterate its earlier sympathies expressed with customers and the clients of that company, and continues to encourage them to follow the legal routes to get a redress to their challenges. Government remains focused that the security agencies, having now received reports from customers, will employ all the powers of the state, including the necessary warrants, possible extradition, etc., to find the accused persons and to ensure that a proper resolution of that matter is adhered to. We urge concerned parties, especially political parties, to refrain from desperate attempts to score non-existent political points out of this matter. In politicizing the matter, it is due process and the interest of customers that will suffer in the end, and we urge a discontinuance of this.
Former Chairman of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Kwejo Afarejang, says a proposal to elect MMDCs is good. However, cautions the process must not include Ghanaians living abroad. Speaking at the 70th Annual New Year School at the University of Ghana, Dr. Farijan noted involving Ghanaians abroad is impracticable as it would make the process cumbersome, a situation the Electoral Commission may not be able to handle. He was speaking on the topic, improving electoral process for democratic consolidation.
In terms of allowing our brothers and sisters who are resident abroad to vote in our general elections. And the general elections are what? The presidential parliamentary election and the district level elections. I'm saying that because of the sheer number of electoral areas, I don't even remember how many electoral areas, but you are talking about electing 36,000, more than 36,000 members of the district assemblies. My God, I don't see how we're going to allow a person living abroad to be taking part in this one. It is completely impracticable for them to do. That's why I'm suggesting that we should leave that one aside. And then consider the others, and I have given my addition. So I'm not saying that we should stop district assembly elections. I'm saying that our brothers and sisters who are resident abroad, don't let us involve them in district level elections.